And we're live. All right, guys, what is up? Welcome to another edition of the Weekly Roundup. I'm your host, Jake Friel, always accompanied by Steve Reichel. Damn it. There we go. Got it.
There we go
About
again.
today. Yeah, right. Got a lot to talk about today. Obviously, the Phillies season opened up yesterday. Not what we were hoping for, but we're going to be kind of breaking it down a little bit. Also going to be talking about Ben Simmons made a jump shot yesterday in a game that doesn't matter, but people are excited about it. Am I excited? A little bit. I mean, we'll see. We'll talk about it later on in the show, and then before we wrap it up, we'll be talking about the NFL's new CBA, just kind of related to COVID stuff and just stuff as far as that goes. We'll break that down as well. But before we get into the show, a quick word from our sponsor. We are brought to you by our doc, Make 'em Yours, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. Its locations are as follows: Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey. Our poll question today is also brought to you by Ambuck Services, AMBUCK Services.com. Call Michael Ambrose, tell him A2D sent you. Get yourself 20% off gutter guards, gutter restoration, deck restoration, gutter cleaning. You got you covered. That website again is ambuckservices.com, AMBUCK Services.com. And obviously, the poll question leading to the topic of the day: the Phillies made a major, major mistake not addressing the bullpen during the offseason. Agree or disagree?
Absolutely agree. Listen, we know they had the bats. We know that they have capability on offense. We knew that their pitching staff is the starting pitching staff is more than capable when healthy, when playing up to their potential. That they could lead this team to be a 90+ win team. We know that. That's known. Always the question was leading into it is, what are you going to get in the back end of the bullpen when them starters get out of the game? And it wasn't addressed, not really. You say like, well, maybe we'll have one of our young guys that are kind of fringe, 5-starter to kind of be the arm in our bullpen, and that's really the answer either. So when you don't address that, and then you see what happens yesterday, this is what you're going to get, and it could be, hopefully not a trend that is going to happen this shortened COVID season, but it doesn't really look good when you start off like that against the Florida Marlins. But that's also a team that's given us problems in the past. It's also with a broken spring training camp, whatever you want to call it. It's we're in uncharted territories with it, so you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt right now. But you don't have a whole lot of time to play around.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And
with me right now.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Go ahead.
And with me, I have to agree with the poll as well. I just like, even if it's not like a big name, obviously we weren't getting Garrett Cole or anything like that, but you need a little something. I mean, you got Zach Wheeler, but you need those guys at the tail end of games that can just seal up the game for you. And obviously, we didn't see that yesterday. But again, it's also, you have to look at it to where these guys only really had 3 weeks of practice. They didn't have their typical spring training. So it's one of those things to where I think a lot of teams are going to struggle. And I want to see how kind of Joe Girardi really kind of like adapts, I guess you could say, to everything going on in his first season.
But that's the reason why you bring a guy like Joe in, and hopefully he can get it where, at this point, as long as we get in the playoffs, we're a dangerous team.
Yeah, absolutely.
We know that. You just hope that Joe could put the pieces together really quickly and find out who's going to give him exactly what he needs in certain situations, and who he can lean on. If he doesn't find that out quick, this could be an easy season to want to forget real soon.
Yeah,
it's going to be a reminder of the Kapler teams that were just unable to kind of get over the hump and get in the playoffs.
Yep,
this is your chance.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But it just kind of like getting into the game yesterday. Obviously, we were all excited, but it's one of those things, I think, to where like we got on a slow start, and that's expected. It's the first game of the year, but as soon as like Didi Gregorius and he was the only real offense we had yesterday. And that's the crazy
Yeah.
part.
And it's crazy because Harper's normally one of those guys who starts out like scorching hot.
Mm-hmm.
So you were hoping from at least an RBI. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be this monstrous bomb that or anything, but it's one game. It's opening day.
Right.
It's also a game without fans
Mm-hmm.
from a team who loves to feed off of the fan energy. So we also
Yeah.
have to take some consideration for them having to adjust to that part of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But I don't know. Yeah, yesterday's game was just frustrating. After we gave up those 4 runs, I kind of like I already knew where this is going. I'm like, oh, we've all seen this before. So
Yeah.
I mean, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth. But again, it's really about how you respond as a team, right? So they have a game at 4:05, probably like 4:10. Obviously,
Wait to
talking
see
about like
Wheeler, right?
yeah. I don't know. I'm not 100% sure because
Is
I
it?
know he had his
I thought it
baby a
was.
couple
I
days.
thought it was Saturday we were going to see him.
I forget, but I know he had
I
his
thought it was
baby a
Saturday.
couple days
Maybe
ago,
I'm
so I
wrong.
don't
Maybe I'm
know.
wrong.
I don't know how much that's going to factor in as far as him having his kid and stuff like that. So unless it's like a Harper thing to where he's only gone for like a game or two and then he comes back. But again, we'll see. I'm excited for today's game.
Yeah. See, Wheeler is starting.
Oh, he is
There
starting
you
today.
go. Look underneath you. Look
Oh,
underneath you.
yep. Thanks, Frank. But
So yeah, man, we get to see if it's money well spent or not. If he delivers, doesn't matter. Like at this point in time, the win, the loss doesn't matter. I need to see quality pitching from these guys,
mhm,
and if the bats will come around, we already know that,
yeah,
right?
yep,
We've seen them be in spells, but we also know what they're capable of. They could put a fight in real face.
hmm
So let's just pray that the pitching is what we think it is, and the starting pitching is going to have to carry the bullpen. I'm telling you,
yep,
you need to find some way to bridge from six to eight and fast.
yeah, and that's that's the real thing. But it's one of those things too, to where like obviously Joe Girardi stretched it and the pitching staff stretched it as well, as to where they have a lot of young guys and they have some good stuff. But it's just it's simple as that. They're young guys. That's all that it is. They're young guys,
Yeah, but
and they're
that's
going to
also
take
where I
time.
said where he has to find out who he can lean on and who's going to give him what he needs in them spots really fast.
Yeah,
Especially
no,
them young guys.
absolutely.
Them young guys are going to make them known like, hey, that I can do this.
Yeah, absolutely. But and
Either play
we'll
on
get
the field, not by sitting there telling him he's going to do it.
yeah, exactly. But let's get to the comments real quick. Zach Simpson, I'm sure at some point the pen will be the point of blame, but today was Nola and the lack of offense. Talking about yesterday's game, absolutely.
Yeah,
Uh,
he had placement. He had some bad placement, and I think it was like 2 pitches that really burned him up.
mhm,
Really cost him. It's early in the season. I'm not going to sit there and put it all on him, but like it's one of those things. Like, yeah, he takes some blame there, but you know, can't really fault him for like 2 really bad pitches, kind of really
mhm.
costing him a bad start.
Yeah, absolutely.
Doesn't help
And
when your offense doesn't really put out more than 2 runs either.
yeah, no, it definitely doesn't. But Jeff Podluck, I think I said that right. Podlack. I'm sorry if I screwed up your last name, but he said this is why Clentech needs
Contact
to
needs
go.
to go.
Yep, been saying it for almost 2 years now. He needs to go. But and it's one of those things. Yesterday, I tweeted after JT Realmuto got that out at second or threw that out at second. I'm like, can we sign him, please? Can we give this guy an extension, please, or no?
Absolutely, my brother. Absolutely.
I, yeah, I don't know. I'm so. It's not that I don't know with Clentech. He needs to go. But if he resigns JT Realmuto, I'll be perfectly fine with it. I'm 100% okay with it. But moving on further into the comments, Greg also says, "What's up, fellas? We'll be okay. Sure, it was frustrating, but Joji was seeing what he had in a few guys. Our quote unquote big names didn't throw yesterday. It's one game. We'll be okay. If we take 2 of the three, it'll be okay. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm good with 2 or 3. You have to, but it's all like I said. Marlins are one of those teams that kind of beating us for in games they have no reason beating us in. So
Yeah,
it's one
absolutely.
of those games where we beat ourselves, you know. So
Hmm.
we have to do less of that, especially within this shortened season. I think
Hmm.
that's probably more of a reason why we're gonna. I think especially us Philly fans, we're gonna be extremely hard on some of these losses this season. I do.
Yep, absolutely.
I just see it.
Greg also says, wasn't it refreshing to hear honest answers from your manager after the game? Quote, I tried some things and they just didn't work that night. So refreshing after Weirdo dealt with for a few years. Yeah, absolutely. And Joe
Yeah,
Girardi won't hide from his hide from his mistakes, and he'll admit when he's wrong and stuff like that. So that's why I respect him as a
exactly.
manager. So it's just one of those things. Obviously, I'm not going to make the excuse for Joe Girardi to where it's his first game and stuff like that. But again, we're in a very, very unique situation with baseball. We're only doing a 60 game rush, so it's one of those things where every team's at a disadvantage. It's not just the Phillies; it's every team that's at a disadvantage right now. And we probably won't see teams necessarily get into that rhythm per se until probably like 6 or 7 games in. Obviously, unless you're the Dodgers, who looked really good yesterday. But moving on further into the comments, Don says, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Don? Bryce Blackwell, what's up, Bryce?" But it's just one of those things. Yeah, obviously it's going to be frustrating, and it wouldn't be Philly sports if it wasn't frustrating. You know what I mean? So
What else is new, man? We love our glutton for punishment with our teams that we should know better with, and you know we ride or die with our team. We crucify them to no end, but
mhm.
we still show up in droves, unfortunately.
Yeah. John Lynch also
But I
says early
mean,
game
we already
plans.
know what the problem with the Phillies team is, and it's upper management for a while.
Yeah.
They haven't been getting things right.
Hmm.
Put us in a situation we probably should have had probably 3 World Series in the last 20 years, but we don't.
Yep.
So I mean, it's one of these things where we know how frustrating it is because we know how close these teams are, and that's
Hmm.
probably why it's one of these things why we hammer that, especially the Phillies.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's another one of them, but it's like it's kind of we've always heard, we have this farm system, we have this farm system. Well, the farm system's finally here,
Right.
so it's one of these things where we're going to see the fruition of that over the next handful of seasons with the Flyers. The
Hmm.
question is, will the Phillies be able to do that? And I don't know, man. What do you
I don't
think,
know.
Jake? I
If you're
don't think
talking
so.
about the what do you call it? If you're talking about comparing the Phillies farm system to the Flyers farm system, it's night and day. It's because if you're talking about a team that has a well built farm system for years, the Flyers are stacked,
Yeah,
and that's all thanks to Ron Hextall. Now, if they can bring it, now I'll get back to the Phillies point in a minute, but it's one of those things to where you can say what you want about Ron Hextall not bringing up his guys and stuff like that, saying they weren't ready. But you look at the farm system that the Flyers have in the NHL. I don't care what anyone says; they have the best young talent in the lower leagues right now,
and
and
but
they're
that
going to be.
also, but being a Phillies fan, that has to enrage you even more because we've
Yep.
had almost 10 years to rebuild this team, and we don't
Hmm.
have nothing that mirrors what we see on the other side of the street.
Absolutely.
It's if you're a Phillies fan, you should be upset. We're a good 5-6 years away from being able to sit there and say that we have a decent one.
Hmm.
We have 1 or 2 guys that we could say, yeah, maybe that guy would be a big leaguer in 2 years.
Hmm.
We probably have 3 or 4 guys that the Flyers have in the system that will be NHLers in 5 seasons, if not less.
Hmm.
It's troubling.
Oh, it's absolutely troubling, and obviously with
So,
the season being as unique as it is, you're going to see a lot of your Spencer Howers and Alec Bombs be called
but
up for a game or two.
moving forward on the Phillies point, like which game are you most looking forward to seeing over the next month?
Um, I think with me personally, it's going to be Yankees Phillies. That's going to be obviously the one I'm excited for.
Yes, because it's just the New York hate. People don't understand it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
If you're a real Philadelphia fan, you cannot stand the state of New York for anything.
Yep.
Anything. I have family that live in New York, and I barely go see them because of the fact that they live in New York.
Right.
Like, hey, have you ever been to Times Square? Or anything? Nope. Why? Because fuck New York.
Right.
So yeah, I'm with you. You know, the Mets games, the Yankee games, that's probably the ones I'll pay more attention to. Obviously, you know, we're gonna have looking forward to some of the divisional games, the Atlanta games, because isn't Cole still down there?
I forget.
So I mean, that's gonna be something you're want to kind of look at.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
Don
what
says
you're
it looks like the
gonna
Astros.
need what you're gonna need to always take 2 out of 3 on. Always.
Yep.
You can't lose any series this season.
No.
Not more. We can't lose more than 10. Period.
Right. But
Serious.
no, and you're absolutely right. But it's going to be one of those things today where if we lose again today, similar to how we lost yesterday, then I'm like, okay, I'm not concerned. Obviously, we're only 2 games in, but it's just one of those things where I'm like, okay, yeah, I need to see a little something.
Yeah, but we'll come up with something. You know, the city will come up with like pep rallies or something like that to kind of give the team something to kind of feed off of.
Right.
You know, maybe time something out where we do something like right before they go to the ballpark or something like that. You have to do something to supplement them to give this team some energy.
Yeah, definitely. You're absolutely right. But yeah, and that brings up the conversation too, how much of an effect it really has without having fans.
Well, some players have I think it's subjective because like some players that they just have that switch and it goes on. It doesn't matter.
Right.
What I said, I think as a fan perspective, it'd be cooler because we can kind of hear more of the interactions more and stuff like that. Some of the
Mhm.
chatter that we never got to hear and stuff. Where some players also need that crowd. They feed off of that energy, and it's not like the spotlight. It's almost like the pressure of performing in front of that many people.
Yep.
So it's one of these things where, but not all the players are wired that way. Like I said, some people are just they're cold and calculating. Then it's just they're machines. Like I can see like a guy like Albert Pujols, it wouldn't matter to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But guys like Bryce, I think he's another one. He needs that. He's that guy that just feeds off the energy of life, so to speak. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yep.
So, I mean, I say it's subjective, and I think each player is going to be like I said. We're still in the beginning stage, but I think by the time we get to game 5 through 10, it won't be an issue anymore
Yeah, absolutely. And
because they'll
it's
kind
going
of
to be
settle in and adjust to what it is.
right. And it's going to be one of those things too, to where I think the players just need that kind of
I mean,
consistent.
I should think it just says is basically world class Sandlot at this point in time. Just think of it like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's what it should. I mean, when you break it down and think about it, that's what all of them should think about it. The guys who have that block where you need it, just think of it as this is the best of the best of the Sandlot thing. This is what you wanted to do when you were a kid, right?
Yep, absolutely.
But it's on a real level where it's for you, even
Mhm.
though it's for your fans. It's for you. That's how every player should come about it this season.
Right. But
Just me.
yeah. Well, no, and I get your point. Don says, would you put a cardboard cutout in the stands?
Yeah, I'll buy a seat.
It depends on how much
I'll
they
buy a
are.
seat.
I heard
I'll
some
buy a
stadiums
seat.
are expensive.
I want to put my A2D shirt on it too.
Yeah, it's funny, Don, in our, what do you call it, in our company chat, we actually did talk about that. So it's something that we are talking about. So we'll see. Maybe one game you will see all of us. That'd actually be pretty cool. You never know. But let's just move on to the Sixers real quick. It wasn't just, what do you call it? It wasn't like just a little bit of news. It wasn't big news. It wasn't breaking news. Everyone made this seem like yesterday it was worldwide news, to where they're like, oh wow, wait, Ben Simmons shot a three. They're like, oh wow, Ben Simmons actually shot a three again, and he made it in an exhibition game that does not mean anything.
We've seen this before, haven't we?
Yeah, I share the same exact sentiment that you do.
I've heard this song before, man. I've heard this song before.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you trying to remix it for me, man?
Right.
I need a remix. I've seen this song and dance before.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what he does when he's the exhibition games, and you know when he does it when it means the most, when the pressure's on, you know, fourth quarter, whatever, like however you want to see him display that, you know, guys in his face, whatever. I want to see it when it matters the most.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to see him show and prove all these haters and doubters wrong, like he says he will.
Mm-hmm.
No, and we like to rib and jab them because you know that's what we do here in Philly until you prove
It's
us wrong.
just part of it.
And he's like, all right, Ben, you got us. It's time to eat our crow. You got us. But it ain't time to eat our crow yet because you haven't shown it to us yet. I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear about what he's done in practice anymore. I want to hear about what he's done in exhibition games, preseason games, in his mom's backyard. I don't want to hear it no more. I love him. I do love him, but I want to see it when it matters.
Andy actually has a good comment. What's up, guys? The show might just have a little class with Frank at the helm. Yeah, no, absolutely. We don't have a degenerate. We don't have a.
Shots fired from Andy. Oh,
well, I mean, to be fair, Andy's not wrong. We don't have a degenerate at the helm, or a loose cannon, I should say, like Ralph Vecchio at the producers' table. So.
Oh man.
Love you, Ralph.
It's okay, Ralphie. If you're watching, we still love you too, bro. Sometimes.
But it's just one of those things to where, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't be. I'm so sick and tired of it. It's just one of those. And I was watching on Twitter to where people were just like praising this guy, like, "Oh my God, he's finally gonna do it." I'm like, if he starts doing it on like a consistent basis, and he does it to where the games actually count and they actually matter come August 1st, all right, then we'll have a conversation. But I can also see it to where the fact that there aren't fans there, Ben's going to shoot the ball a lot more. I can see it that way too. So I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm just so sick and tired of it. It's so overblown. It's one of those things to where you have to show me, and obviously he showed it yesterday where he shot a little bit, but you have to do it on a consistent basis for me to actually believe in you. That's my thing.
Listen, man, if he could do it on a consistent basis on this next, hopefully like 50, 60 games or so, we can we can have a different conversation going into next season. But I mean, him, JoJo, Toby, they all got to step up and perform. They say it's their turn, right? Well, time to show us. The East is yours for the taking.
Yep.
No excuses this time. I don't want to hear about chemistry anymore. I don't want to hear Brett Brown did this. You should be good enough players to come together and make this thing happen. So, Ben Simmons, I want to see something for you. You're put on notice. Tobias Harris, I want to see something for you. You put on notice. And JoJo, love you too, big guy. But you can't take no games off. None.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially with the short schedule and
listen,
the playoffs, so.
I don't think any other team should be able to sit there and say that they should be favorites in every matchup that could possibly happen moving forward. It should be the Sixers should be. It is because of who they have on the roster. The thing is that they're so inconsistent that they just get looked over because of things that happened in the past. They need to put up or shut up now.
Absolutely.
The Philadelphia media, we're hard on them for a reason. The national media is hard on them for a reason too. They need to deliver this time. Ben Simmons needs to just show us some highlight stuff that can keep us quiet for a week or two.
Don also says, did you guys see Giannis's brother get put in a body bag the other day? Yeah, when he got posterized and slammed his head on the hardwood. I saw that. One of the most nastiest dunks I've ever seen in my life.
Oh man. Hey man, it's exciting, man. We're about to get baseball's getting ready to kick in gear. We're about to get basketball coming back. We're about to get hockey playoffs coming back. I mean, we've been kind of deprived of it for a while. So
Mhm.
and here in Philadelphia, we have two teams that are expected to make deep playoff runs. So
Yep.
I mean, it should be an exciting time for it for both sports. And personally, you know.
Mhm.
I like both of their chances to make you know division if not conference finals in both sides, both
Yeah. No,
hockey and
absolutely.
baseball. There's no excuse for it not to be.
Mhm. And we'll get to the Flyers in a quick sec. I just want to touch on them real quick, but just finishing on my Ben Simmons point. If here's my hope, right? Obviously, I trash the Sixers. Everyone knows I trash the Sixers. I'm not a fan of Tobias Harris, and people get excited when Ben Simmons shoots a three. I'm like, yeah, like I said earlier, we've all seen it before.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. He has to prove me wrong, but I will say this: if, and it's in all caps, if Ben Simmons can get a consistent jump shot, whether it be from two or three, it completely transforms this team from top to bottom. It completely transforms the
Well, that's
offense
why I
and how
basically put
everything
all three
runs.
of them on notice. All three of
Mm-hmm.
them. And if Al Horford can, and also if Al Horford can be a legitimate six man off the bench during the playoffs, they could definitely be a team that, and that's why I say like they have the talent to do it. To should be
Yep.
favored for any matchup they have moving forward because of what they have on the roster and what their talent indicates they should be. They should
Mm-hmm.
be a number one, two, or seed, or favored to go to the finals at this point in time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's the Toronto Raptors. Yes, there's the Boston Celtics, but they should be favored in those matchups, in my opinion, regardless of what the past dictates to you. The
Yeah,
roster
absolutely.
says otherwise, and they need to come up and show big. Ben Simmons and neat. I'm totally with you that I love him. I love the energy he brings. The intangibles he brings to the court. But you're absolutely right. He needs a steady shot from
Mm-hmm.
the outside, not just driving to the basket, getting fouls, going to the rim. You need the threat of it just to keep the defense honest. Even if you're freaking 5 for 10, I don't care. You're 5 for 10. I don't.
Right.
That's 5 buckets we will normally get from you, and it keeps the defense honest, so they can't play that game that they like to play with us. And that's
Mm-hmm.
partially the reason why I think that Brett Brown had to come up with this idea of having Shake, run the offense now.
Right. And
I
Damian
mean,
Estrada has a good comment as well. He says, "What are your guys'
what's up?
thoughts on the MLB 16 playoff game rule?" I mean, to me, it's more baseball, so I'm not going to be against it. I don't hate it, at least for this season with how everything's going on and how it is right now. I don't have an issue
But
with it.
here's the thing: we always say like there's always fringe teams that are like, oh man, they've had a really rough season. They should have really get. We've always have a handful of teams, and in any sport, like I think a lot of it, I think all the major sports franchises should literally look into adding, one or two spots per conference that you have for your pro sports teams. Just to one, it increases revenue for all the teams, players, you, etc. So I don't see why anyone would be against it. I mean, granted, it's rough, but I still think at the end of the day, bringing more teams in it just entices more revenue for TV dollars, sponsorship dollars, etc. But it's also giving more opportunities for teams that wouldn't normally have it, more opportunity for players to gain playoff experience so they can help further their careers as well. Because at the
Mhm.
end of the day, that's you look at all the major sports until you really kind of get that playoff experience, they don't really consider you one of these guys.
Yeah,
So I
no,
mean, I'm all for the adding more teams to the baseball format, hockey, all of them. I mean, hockey already has a pretty big one, with eight.
mhm.
But you just think how fun it would be when you get a couple more in there with some of these rivalries and stuff like that. It's just you shorten the hockey season down a little bit. You maybe take it from 82 to 72 games for your hockey, and you know um, football. They're already talking about adding another game as it is anyway. So I think that kind of evens that one out. So I mean, it's one of these things where in baseball, I mean, it's kind of one of the already things that you already want to go down shorter games as it is anyways. I think they should really look into a 120 game schedule moving forward, especially if you're going to put more playoff teams in the mix.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just going to make. I mean, playoff baseball is always, it's one of the sports where you could say it's a totally different animal
Yep.
than what it is in the regular season. Everything's crazier. Philadelphia playoff baseball is just a crazy atmosphere here too. And then you're going to get some of these teams who just really get hot at the right time too, where they kind of run out of gas at the end. And now you get to see if they did have enough in the tank to make a run for a playoff. So and then those trade deadline trades really mean so much more because more people are going to get chances at it. I think it opens up so many opportunities for players, for teams, everything. Like
Yep.
it only makes sense in my opinion that
Yeah.
they'll work out dollars and cents when it all comes down to it. But I think that you should all of them should think about it. So absolutely yes, 16 teams, bring it on.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine with it. And Don also says as well, from 1 to 10, how confident are y'all in the Phillies? You can take this one first, Steve.
6.
Okay.
They didn't fix anything, man. They didn't
Right.
fix anything. They got more money they have to put into this team. As far as the catcher, you should have done that as soon as you made the trade for Muto. You shouldn't even give him a chance.
Mm-hmm.
You should have just immediately gave. What do you want? Okay, let's get it done right now. But no,
Right.
this freaking front office wants to be more Jewish than I am, playing these freaking games, nickel and dime, and trying to play the market, trying to see if you can get the best. Listen, man, you did this. I know we got scared away because of the things we did with Utley and Howard and stuff like that. It's because we locked them into those younger contracts for what we had for them. And that's how we were able to get the pitching staff that we needed. So yeah, I get it. But you do it with these guys, they are younger. Realmuto is at the prime time of his career. You have to pay him that. Bryce Harper was a superstar you had to bring in. These are things that you have to do. You have to sign Realmuto up. Yes, you do have a good young catcher behind him, but he's not JT Realmuto. And if I'm mistaken, isn't it really a good thing to have two catchers around? I don't know. The other one might be a star in this league too in 3 to 5 years. But hey, you have JT in house right now. He is the best catcher in baseball. You can't argue with me with that right now. Both with a bat in his hand and arguably with that arm and glove too. So
Yep.
at the end of the day, I mean, it's just frustrating, ain't it?
No, it's beyond frustrating, but it's one of those things too to where, and we talked about it. It's just one of those things to where it's just so tough. It's frustrating just having Clintek just as a manager, and he's like you said, Steve. He's
But
nickel
not
and
only
diming
that, you could think about this too, Jake. They could have a freaking goddamn all-star freaking bullpen reliever laying in their hand, and they'd be like, "No, we can't really work the money for that right now." That would be their approach to it. Oh, well, we have to sign JT first before we can think about addressing that.
Yep.
And that would be their logic.
Pretty much, yeah. But I think with me right now, I'm a little higher than Steve, and it's not that much. I'm going to go probably like 6.5. Obviously, it might go down a little. It might go down to 6, depending on if we lose today.
Well, I mean, if we were in a longer season, I would have probably gone higher, but because we're in the shortened season,
right,
they didn't
absolutely.
really address the needs. You don't know what you're going to get at a Girardi quite yet. With the changeover, everything else, like it's one of these. Like I said, I would like it to be like an 8 or a 9 right now, but I have absolutely no faith in that bullpen. Yes, it's one game, I get it, but at the end of the day, they didn't really address anything. So I need to see it before someone can tell me, I guess I'm the guy at the table with the sign up, change my mind. Well, I'm the guy with the sign up saying change my mind from a 6, but I can't right now.
Yeah, no. But again, it's one of those things to where it's still very, very, very early. But Eileen also says, "Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. We hope you're doing well too, Eileen." But it's one of those things to where it's still very early, so I'm not gonna jump the gun and be like, "Oh, we're doomed. It's over." I'm gonna at least wait. Give me like probably. Well, I think we'll know what this team is. Obviously, given a shortened season, I think we'll know what this team is come like 15 to 20 games. I think we'll really know what this team is by then.
Yeah.
But get into the Flyers real quick. I'll touch on the Flyers real quick. My only real concern with the Flyers is that they were coming on such a hot streak in March. Obviously, they lost their last game before everything shut down and got crazy against Boston. But it's one of those things to where I'm worried to where obviously it's gone because they've been gone for so long, but I'm wondering if they can get that back. That's my thing. I'm wondering if they can actually get that momentum and that scoring.
But everyone's going to have to try to get that back.
Yeah.
And they also still have that rallying cry with Oak,
Mm-hmm.
So, Oscar still is their rallying cry to kind of ping off of. You still have to wonder what's going to go on with Patrick if he's actually gonna be in uniform for the playoffs or not.
Mm-hmm.
You still have a young team, and I think what it really boils down to is if Hart can get that scolding hot streak that we know that he has in him, and we can get good defensive play and actually good penalty kill and actually get some good shifts on power plays and make those penalties hurt teams, then yes, then we can overcome anything that any team can throw us in this conference.
Yeah, absolutely. But it's good.
I'm sure we would love to running the Bob on our way too to knock him out.
Yeah. But Eileen also says to the both of you gentlemen, who is your favorite Philly, past or present? Ooh, I think with me, I'd have to go. I'm gonna stick with past. With me, it's Ryan Howard. Plain and simple, it's Ryan Howard. He's my favorite.
I have a reason for it too. I've already shared the story with you, so I don't have to indulge in it again.
Who's your favorite?
I'll give you both. I mean, my past is always Michael Jack Schmidt. It always is, always will be. He's the greatest Philly of all time. You can't argue me anything different. I've loved other guys over the years. Darren Dalton, was one of my favorites of that 93 team. That team was always fun to watch with Incaviglia, Hollins, and all that. The 2000 teams were fun. Utley, Jason Worth, and all them. But my current one would probably, Bryce is fun. But Bryce Manny has run through Philadelphia, so if he's the current one, I gotta give Bryce the love right now. He deserves it.
Yeah, that's a good one. But yeah, moving on. Obviously, yesterday the league agreed, or I shouldn't say, yeah, they agreed to a new CBA, which it really necessarily isn't a new CBA. They just kind of redid the conditions as far as everything going on with Corona. So basically, what it really entails is camp will start on time, which is Tuesday, July 28th. The cap remains at $198.2 million. And the cap in 2021, from what I'm understanding and from what I'm looking at, it looks to be at least 175 million. Players will have a choice to opt out the season, which we already saw from the Kansas City Chiefs guard. I forget his name right now, and pretty much when a player opts out to whatever contract they were supposed to make that season, they get $150,000. So the Kansas City guard, I forget his name, I apologize, but he was set to make 2.5 million this year, but instead he's going to be settling with $150,000. And also they're talking about revenue losses that will be covered over the next 4 years as well. So it's interesting.
Which means ticket prices are going to go up for us.
Next year, probably. Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Corona.
Eileen also asked.
You have to look at it from the real standpoint. We're the ones that are gonna have to fit the bill for that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
parking's going to go up. Food and drinks are going to go up. Ticket prices, like you said, are going to go up. So it's going to be nuts. But Eileen also says, are stadiums filling seats or no fans at all? It's really it's weird, Eileen, because some stadiums are having it, and others aren't. So it's one of those interesting things, which I think
depends on the state. It really boils down to what's going on in the state.
Yep.
You know, everyone's different. You know, we got freaking Twinkle Dee and Twinkle Dum running our state and counties. So we have this problem here. But you go into other states where they're allowing people to come to sporting events and large gatherings for over 250 people, et cetera, et cetera. So it really all boils down to is what's going on in the state. And unless somebody takes out Wolf or Kenny, this is what we're stuck with right now.
Yeah, pretty much. And depending on how long that'll be, that's yet to be determined, but we'll see. Also, there's another thing I found. According to the score, according to the revised CBA, the NFL players can't go to indoor nightclubs or bars, indoor house parties with 15 plus people, indoor concerts, professional sporting events, which is a little odd, indoor church services that allow attendance over 25%.
So you're not allowed to go to birthday. So you can't even throw a birthday party for your kid. You heard that right?
Pretty much,
no,
yeah.
No parties of over 15 people. So how am I going to throw a birthday party for my kid?
Yeah, right. That's an interesting.
What, it's just going to be me, my kid, my significant other, and that's it?
Yeah, but pretty much.
Grandpa and grandma, that's about it? That's it?
That's about it. Yeah, that is
we have
rough.
to have a carousel of their friends that have to rotate in and out.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. Pretty much. But then they also passed a thing a couple days, not a couple days ago, excuse me, like a week or two ago, to where they're not going to allow players to do jersey swaps. And then Darius Slay hit it on the head. We posted about it like a week or two ago, to where he's like, okay, so you're going to let us do like full, complete contact with people, but you won't let us swap jerseys. It's a little, just saying. So
wait a minute. I'm allowed to freaking tackle this man, throw him on the ground, and get in his face, touch him and all, be grabbing on. That's what they did, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we can't swap jerseys, really.
Nope.
Do you want to come and disinfect us before we swap the jerseys? Would that be all right if we sanitize ourselves first? Have a sanitation pool next to the benches so the players can roll around and then exchange jerseys. Is that what we're gonna have to do?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's freaking nonsense. I can't.
No,
it's freaking crazy.
Ridiculous. But it's one of those things to where it's gonna be like, oh, just send it to me in the mail, or have it sent to me, have it sent to my hotel room. It's just the situation is so peculiar, and again, it's one of those things that we've never seen before, and it's such a fluid situation. It's just tough. It's really tough right now. And obviously, from what we're seeing, at least in Philadelphia and Jersey area, at least in Philadelphia, I should say, with at least where me and Steve live, it looks like we might be going back to yellow or red again. So we'll see.
It looks like I'll be going back on unemployment again. Jesus freaking Christ.
Yeah. So
because I work in what I do, man. If most of the retail stores are closed, I can't be working.
Yep. So it's going to be tough for a lot of people again, but that's another.
Well, you guys get to see more of my face then.
Yeah, exactly. But you got anything else, Steve, before we wrap up?
Man, yeah, we had the bare knuckle boxing fight, man. I didn't get the title. It was a good fight, but the free event was on Facebook, YouTube. We got some more stuff with that, but I am gonna sit there and say we are gonna do that T-shirt giveaway for YouTube for us hitting 3K. Just guys, remember to like the videos, subscribe, Leave a comment in the comment section. There's going to be a random drawing. Us and the guys are gonna pick a random video throughout the month that they're gonna choose for. Well, whoever's the winner, we'll announce and well, I guess we'll do it next week's show. I guess we'll do it.
Yeah. You too, Eileen.
Have a good one, Eileen.
But yeah, you got anything other than that, Steve, or are we pretty much good?
No, I think just another good week of sports. We're getting ready for the Phillies to kind of kick into gear. We got I know I got crazy things going on in my life. I know Jake's getting ready to get things going. So we got some big announcements going to be coming real soon too. So
yeah, and we have an announcement obviously regarding our show that'll be coming next week as well. So obviously, as always, guys, thank you so much for coming on. We hope we could kind of like took you away or kind of just gave your mind a break from all the craziness that's going on in the world right now. We know it's crazy, and the good thing is we can kind of get away with sports a little bit with everything going on. But as always, Jake Friel, Steve Reichel. Oh, there we go. I'm never gonna get it. I was good. I was on a streak for a couple weeks, and then it just
remember the opposite way. Every time you look at me, I'm the opposite way. Just remember that.
Yeah, and I'm a lefty, so to everyone else,
dyslexia turns things around in the brain.
Yeah, that's true. As always, guys, we are brought to you by our doc, Making Mirrors, Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, LLC, Burlington, Cherry Hill, and Princeton, New Jersey locations. Find them on the web, specializedphysicaltherapy.com. We are also brought to you by Ambuck Services, AMBUCK Services.com. Call Michael Ambrose, tell him ATD sent you. Get yourself 20% off gutter guards, gutter restoration, gutter cleaning, deck restoration, anything you need done outside your house. They got you covered. That website again is ambuckservices.com, AMBUCK Services.com. As always, Jake Friel, Steve Reichel. There we go. I got it. And we'll check you guys back next week on another episode of the Weekly Roundup. Later, guys.